Hi, my name is Giselle Charlot, founder of Kids Yoga Stories. Welcome to our brand new video series, 4 Steps to Teaching Yoga to Children. In this first video, you're going to discover how to build a strong foundation for teaching yoga with children. Having this foundation will help build your confidence and bring you clarity. The goal of this series is simple, to help you be a calm and confident kids yoga teacher. And by the way, when I say kids yoga teacher in these videos, I mean anyone who is teaching yoga to children. Whether you're a parent at home, a kids yoga teacher in a studio, a health practitioner in your private practice, or a teacher in your classroom. Now before we dig in, I invite you to download the 4 Steps to Teaching Yoga to Children workbook below this video so you can take notes as we go through the 4 videos. You can pause the video now, download the PDF, print it out, and then come back here to the video. Whether you're new to teaching yoga to children or you've taught kids yoga for many years, going through these exercises is intended to bring you a sense of ease and grace in your teaching. Now, I'm sure you'll agree that being a kids yoga teacher isn't always as simple as people sometimes make it seem. It comes with its challenges. For example, knowing what exactly to practice during your yoga session, coming up with new, fresh ideas, engaging your children or groups of students effectively, being confident in your own abilities, and having doubts that you're not doing it right. Now, if you're experiencing these challenges, you're not alone, I promise you. That's why in these videos, I'm going to take you step by step through the foundations of how to teach yoga to children in a way that feels good to you and improves the quality of your interaction. And the funny thing, you'll find it involves more about you than the children. This could potentially save you time, money, and a lot of frustration. I put together this framework because I saw so many people who were introducing yoga to children by getting completely flustered and sidetracked by the details. I heard of kids yoga teachers working so hard they didn't have time for their own practice. I saw teachers wanting to integrate yoga into their classrooms, but they didn't have a lot of personal yoga experience and didn't know where to start. I also heard health practitioners with years of personal yoga experience wanting to add yoga into their therapy sessions, but they didn't know how to make it kid-friendly. So I saw a great opportunity for us to get back to the basics. Before I get into the specific steps of the 4 steps to teaching yoga to children, you might be wondering how I got into all of this. Let me share so it makes sense to you where I'm coming from. I took yoga teacher training back in 2005 after I had been teaching in American international schools for a decade. I was then struck with the idea of how to integrate the ancient wisdom of yoga into my work as a teacher. I began to write yoga books for children way back then. But it wasn't until my daughter was 9 months old, that's about 6 years ago now, that I started publishing my yoga books. When my daughter was an infant, she followed my physical practice of yoga and would sit on my lap when I meditated. Over the years, I've picked up various aspects of the yoga and mindfulness practice depending on what we both needed at the time. For example, during the toddler years, I started a daily meditation practice to get me through the challenges of being a parent to a spirited young child. My daughter sometimes joined me. Then, when she was a preschooler, we both started to learn breathing techniques to navigate our big emotions. Now that she's a first grader, we're putting together a mindful moments box to help us live more mindfully. The point is that our yoga practice changes to cater to our emotional and physical needs. I think of yoga as a lifestyle, and I want my daughter to see it that way too. Because our yoga practice is constantly changing to address our needs, it feels exciting and inspiring, not hard. When you teach from a strong foundation of your own practice, teaching yoga to children becomes natural. That leads me to the first step in our series. And real quick, if you haven't had a chance, don't forget to download the 4 steps to teaching yoga to children PDF below. Our first step is foundation, which is to be curious. First, we think critically about what yoga is and why we want to integrate this ancient practice into our lives. So ask yourself, why do I want myself and my children to practice yoga? Why do I want to teach yoga to children? So again, because you can write down on that workbook, why do I want myself and my children to practice yoga? Why do I want to teach yoga to children? Get curious about your intentions and aspirations in the journey of practicing yoga with children. Have you become curious about the health benefits of yoga? Or maybe you're looking for a way to help your child unwind after a busy day or release the stresses of a busy lifestyle? Do your children need tools to regulate their big emotions? Or could they benefit from being more flexible and building strength? Do they feel anxiety during test-taking periods? Does your child have a hard time getting to sleep at night? Or are you looking for a fun and active way to bond with your students? Getting clear on your intention of introducing yoga to children will help you figure out which aspects of yoga to emphasize in order to meet the goals you hope yoga will help achieve in your classroom, studio, or home life. For example, if you're hoping to emphasize relaxation and de-stressing, you should definitely include breathing techniques in your yoga practice. And you might even spend more time on breathing than on the poses. But if you're more concerned with having fun and moving around, the breathing techniques may be a smaller portion of your yoga time. Once you're clear on your intention for teaching yoga to children, you're ready for the next video, where we're going to talk about step 2, exploration. See you in the next video.